Okay, so I finished pushing my my weaving around to make it look a little more presentable, and it's good for me. I think it looks, as long as it's pleasing to your eye, that's what it's all about. So what we have here is, this is the end that has the tassels, and so I have a few extras here that I haven't done yet, and I will be putting those on in just a second. Let me go get my tassels. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back again. I picked up, I had cut these already, and how you put them on is from underneath. You hear the rain outside. Okay. Now go from underneath, grab, and you have the loop. And so now I'm gonna make your ends even. Grab the ends through there. See, now this, the bump will be on this side. So you need to go from underneath, go through the end loop. That would be around the nail there. Get your piece ready to go. Throw it on there. Pull it through. If you want, you can grab it with your hook. Pull it through. Just as easy with your hand, I think. There. Okay, got another one. Get our piece ready to go. Put it on here. You can always trim them later. Okay, I like just to grab it with my hand and pull it through. Okay, got a couple more to go. This is just the top layer one. Can you guys see where I'm at? Here we go, sorry. All right. Pull through. All right, make my loop, grab the bottom, pull it through. Another one. So if I do little, what I kind of think of as mistakes are not really mistakes, they're learning ability, they're learning opportunities. Let's learn together. All right. That one. The corner one, since I already tied a knot there, that's okay. I'll have an extra strand. That's all right, but I got one more right here. If I can get under there. This guy. The rain's still coming down, but the sun's coming out. It's kind of funny. Very refreshing. It's been pretty warm around here, and this rain is really helping the wildfires, so I am very blessed to have some rain. Okay, there we go. Now we're back to normal. See, isn't that pretty? Now I've got 2 layers of these because I have this top layer, and see, there's a whole row. Can you guys see them? There's one on top and one on the bottom, and there you have it for now. I will trim these pieces straight again. Remember, I had that issue before. I have one here that's a little short and that one's long, so I think I'm going to have to redo this one and make it even. I'm going to trim these off, and then I'll come back the next video and show you how I'm going to take this off of the loom. So I hope you're having some fun there, and hope you get a loom. It's really a lot of fun to do, and I will see you the next time. Okay, the first thing we need to do is find the corner, and that we're going to start at the corner that does not have that tail, and you're going to pull it off. You need to take each loop off individually, and you're going to slip them through the loop that's on the hook. So we're going to go down into the next one, pull this guy up, grab the first one if you have to, and pull it through. If these come off, it's okay. If this side comes off, don't worry about that. Ignore it. Go to the next one, pull up, go through your loop. Go in the next one, pull it off, pull it through your loop. And just keep going. It's a little easier as you go along because it's starting to lessen the pressure on it. It's a little tight sometimes, but just work it there. You're always going to have one loop on your hook. Go to the next one, pull it through. I find I have to hang on to it to get it to go through. Am I still in camera here? Okay. Keep going. Next one. See, once you get going, it's a lot easier. It releases itself. And it helps if you don't have super fuzzy yarn. I'm finding that some of my yarns I'm choosing are a little fuzzy. When you work with them too much, they start kind of falling apart. But so far so good. Here we go. Okay, I'm almost at the end. Up, there, up, there, up, there, and then we're going to pull the tail through that very last one right there, and that will lock that end in. And if you want to, you can start pulling your scarf off the loom on the top edge just to give you some room there. So if I would have pulled this edge off, it would look looped like that. Now it's possible to take this edge off first and then do this. Doesn't really matter either way. If you can still differentiate and see all these little loops, then you can do the same thing with this. If you want to do it along the edge to make a nice edge like this, see this nice crocheted edge, see how it sort of tightens it up and gives it a nice solid finish. You can do that on these long edges also. Just start on an end that doesn't have the strand on it. You'll probably have a strand somewhere on one end. Even if it's I could start here if I wanted to. Once I hook these two edges together, I'm probably going to go all the way down, and I will use the a tassel to pull through as the last one. So just make sure that you have that last strand to work with to pull it through. So now I'm going to pull some of these guys off of here. See? I got this little guy on the bottom, and this kind of got messed up, a little fuzzy. It's okay. It'll all work out. So I'm going to put that aside. Now I'm going to try to do, oops, my arm keeps getting in, the sun's coming in from the side now, so maybe you can see what I'm doing. Doing the same thing on the bottom layer. Let me back up a little more. You think that'll help any? No, let me bring you back in. Sorry. I am going to use my smaller hook to try to get this guy started. I hear a kitty cat coming. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to bring you in a little bit more. You get the corner loop. You're going to go down and grab the next one and then pull it through the first loop. It's sort of hard to see it sometimes, but there we go. All right. Next. Come on up, guys. If I move them up on the nail, it works better. There we go. Grab it. Pull it through. Grab it. Pull it through. I do have another video. It's a little better angle. I will put it online and you guys can see that better. It's a real short one, so you won't have to listen to 20 minutes of my chit chat. But here we go. Now we're going through the white ones. Okay, yay, it's finally working. We're getting there. We're getting there, guys. And I can show you how to hook them together. Okay, there. More. There. There. Ignore my ends. They came out kind of weird. Oop. Okay, I want this guy to go through here. Oh, one last one. Okay, I'm going to pull him off the thing. And then the final one will go through here. And we're going to pull that strand through. Okay, and then we can start taking these guys off. All right, let me back up and we will. We'll just go ahead and take it off of here. And then I can show you how to sew it together. We're going to take these two ends and we're going to sew them together. So in the meantime, here we go. Okay, now in the very beginning, we're going to come way in here. Very beginning, I made a knot here and it went around my nail. So what I want to do here, because see it's kind of loose, I'm going to tie a knot to try to stabilize this piece. So I can just kind of like go here and pull this guy through. And then we're gonna go back through itself and tie a knot. And I think I'm gonna go through one more time because it's kind of loose. There we go. And it'll become part of the fringe. Okay, so this is the top part. Let's go back. Uh-oh. Look what I did, you guys. Can you believe it? I did really well, but this one piece I went through to the bottom. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to ignore that, and I am going to show you how to sew the ends together. And then we'll come back and try to look at what I did. Okay. I'm going to ignore it for now, but I need to show you how to sew those ends together. So I'll be right back. Hello, friends. Well, we finally got to this point. I am hoping you've been watching along to see how we've gotten to this, this edge here that we're going to sew up with the invisible seam. Some of you have been waiting to see this, and if you haven't been watching the other parts of this video to show you kind of how I started this or actually ended this scarf, this is considered a travel or instructor's loom. I have the end kind of messed up here. It is 6 by 24 inches long, and it's made by Hideaway Homestead, and right now I have it upside down because I want to show you how to do this invisible seam. When we took this was a double layered project. We had one. Let me back up a little so maybe you can see better. Here, let me move over a little bit more. Here we go. There. When I wove on here, I wove 2 layers. So we had a 2-layer piece. One end will be sewn together. The other end has the fringe on it, which is this mess down here. And the problem was when I was taking these off, I realized that I had hooked it to the bottom one. I went through from the top to the bottom one, so I can't completely take this off yet. That will be the next video, is trying to figure out how do we fix this little problem we have here. Otherwise, it all came off very nicely. So without waiting to do that, I want to get to that end because I think a lot of you are interested in how that's going to work out. When I took these edges off of the loom, I used a slip stitch. You go in from one of the loops off the nail and you keep pulling each loop off through, and you end up with this nice single crochet or a slip stitch foundation to work your invisible seam into. So you need to have that edge to make this work. The idea is to keep your colors matching along this edge. If you slip stitch this, which there's a lot of different ways of hooking these together, if you just did a slip stitch and you just slipped through it, that's perfectly fine. You're going to see somewhat of a bump, and you're also going to see the color going through. So say I used purple, when I did that through here, when I opened this up, when it was seamed together, you're going to see a purple line going down the middle. Let me move it a little bit more so you can see. And we're trying to avoid doing that. We're trying to avoid having that color right in the middle of it. Hence, it's called the invisible seam. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to push this loom away a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to start on this end. It's, well, let's see. Let's start on this end here. I make it a little easier. As long as you can see those V's, there are, here's my needle. The little V's on the ends here, there's a V here, and a V here, and a V here, and a V here. We're trying to go down the middle of these V's. Some different ways of connecting, say, a crochet square together, like granny squares for blankets, they will take, say, the inside loops, like this edge, they will loop those together, or go all the way across, or do just the edges, or do a zigzag. This one's a little bit different than that, so we can hide this thread. So I'm going to start by taking a needle. This is a it's either a tapestry or darning needle, something of this nature. Those plastic needles are really kind of bendy. They don't work super well, so you can use them, or you can use a crochet hook if you prefer. This works the best for me. And then I am putting on a red sparkly yarn so that you can see how you can't see it when you're done. Well, we're going to start by my piece. Let me back up a little bit. My piece of thread here is about 2 or 3 lengths of the width you want to go, because you're going to be sewing back and forth and back and forth, and you're using up that yarn. So the more the merrier. This piece just happens to be about, I don't know, 2.5 feet long maybe. And this is only about 5 inches wide. So about 3 times the width. Sounds good. So to start, we are going to match up these V's so that you can see the V's there. They're a little fuzzy because I have redone this video several times and it's getting fuzzy. So you need to come up from underneath, anywhere along this side, come up inside that end V right there. Pull up the strand, leave enough on the end to wrap around your finger and pull later on. Okay, so you're going to leave about, oh, I don't know, 4 inches. We're going to go straight across to the next V over here. This one's a little fuzzy, like I said, and I'm just going to come up right in the middle for right now, because this is the end one. And I'm going to flip this over so you can see where I'm going. Now this is the trick. Right in the middle of this V, there's a little bar, and it's the top of the stitch below it. Do you see that little bar? You have to go under that. You're not going to go under the outside edge. You're not going to go under the inside edge of that V. You need this bar. It's right in the middle. I call it the vertical bar because I'm holding this horizontally, so that's just my name for it. But right now you're not going to pull it really tight, and now we're going to go over here, we're going to go back over here. Try to go into each V as you go along, so you can go in where you came out here, and you're going to come up on this side, and you're going to hope that you can get that bar. There's the bar. Okay, you can either come right up under that bar, or you can go down and then make sure that you come up under it like that. So you're going right down the middle. I'm going to come across here, and some of these first ones are a little hard for me to find for some reason, but they're in there. Is that it right there? That might be it right there. See that one? Okay, I'm just going to go under there. I'm going to come over here. If you go right to the base of that V, right on the point, you can usually dig down and pull that piece up. If you miss it, you're going to see it through the back side and possibly on the front side too. So if you start digging and you can't seem to find it there, I think that's it right there. Go ahead and skip it and find the next one up. But the better, the more stitches back and forth you have, the more your seam will seal itself. You can do it with a minimum amount, but it might be kind of loose. You just have to make sure you're getting that part. This beginning part right here has always, it's been a tough one for me to find them, but there it is. Now you want to make sure, if you have colors changing like this, make sure you do at least this end and this end. You want to make sure you do all of them too if you can, but especially the beginning and the end of that color section, so that the colors will meet really well when you get to the end and you pull this tight. Okay, there's got to be another one in there somewhere. Where are you? It seems a little hard and kind of finicky, but is very worthwhile in the end. There's right there. I'm going to grab this guy. There we go. Don't pull real tight just yet. All right, now we're going to have to go in the white, and I think there's a purple one right underneath. See the purple? I'm going to go across. And now we're going to go over to this guy here. Well, let's just go in this white one because we want to make sure that we get the whites lined up. See, that one had a purple one in it too. Okay. Let's see. Where are you? You're in there. There it is. Hope you can see that. If I go off camera, I'm sorry. I'm trying to see what I'm doing at the same time with the camera. Okay, let's go down in here. Now this works really well for crochet projects, but I wanted to show it with this weaving because I think there's some people in the weaving groups that could use this technique. There it is right there. especially on this loom, because you're going to be sewing the end of it all the time. Because it makes it a double layer, it makes it long when you take it off and you sew one end and it opens up double length. It's nice to be able to take a small loom with you when you're traveling, or if you want to try to teach the continuous strand weaving method that this loom is all about. It's nice to have a smaller loom to work with. I'm having trouble finding that one, so I'm going to open you up and see if I can see it in there. Do we see it in there somewhere? Where are you? It's down there somewhere. Well, you know, I'm going to skip up to the next guy. Let's see if I can get up here and find this one. I see it. Is that it? No, you got to make sure you're catching it. Oh, I'm having issues now. Why can't I see these guys? I don't see it. Is this it? This might be it right here. There it is. I found one. Okay. Hang tight, you guys. I know it's getting long. You can always fast forward to the end. This one is being really hard too. There it is. I think if I can't find it, I need to look farther back in the V. Just going to make sure you're not going all the way through to the other side. See, now I'm pulling these a little bit wonky, so we don't want that to happen. So we're going to get this one here. Then I want to make sure that this guy, yeah, if I go farther back, you can find it quicker. There it is. And I want to make sure that I get these two to snug up, because they're the end of that color section. All right, I'm hoping I'm getting all these right for you guys, because I keep redoing this part of the video to make sure I'm doing it correctly. And I honestly want to get on to the next section so we can see how to fix my little problem, my little boo-boo with the where I wove it right through to the next layer. So if anybody out there's watching this and knows a simple solution to my little problem, please put it down in the comments. I've got a pretty good idea what I'm going to do with that, but we'll show you in the next video. Okay, we're almost there, you guys. We're almost there. All right, where are you? Where are you? It's right under there. Almost there. Okay. Oh, there's, see, you can really see that one. All right. Some of these stitches they're getting kind of fuzzy. Makes it hard to see. Okay. If you don't know how to do that slip stitch to remove it from the loom, I have another video that shows it in a little bit more detail, a little closer, so you can see what's actually going on. It's really fairly simple. You don't really have to have crochet skills to do it, but you will know how to crochet when you get it done. At least that part. Okay, I got to the end. Now I took my needle off. You can see the stitch. It's like a little zipper all the way down. And what we do now is you grab this end, and you grab this end, not the purple one, the red one. Okay, this is the magic, you guys. Here we go. What we're going to do is pull. Okay, here we go. Pull, 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 pull. And if your yarn doesn't break on you, like I've had happen before, pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. Hey, I think it worked. Would you look at that, guys? Look. You don't see any red, do ya? And your pattern continues. Might be a little tiny bit off, but boy, that's a heck of a lot better than a whip stitch where you have this bump down the back. Now, to prove that you did it right, you have to flip it over. So here we go. There we go. I see a tiny bit here because that's pulling out, but I bet you if I pull a little tighter and you snug it down, there we go. That red is not showing. A little tiny bit, but you wouldn't normally make this with bright red. You wouldn't be sewing this together with bright red. If you have any kind of yarn that is similar to the colors you're using, use that. But there you go. See, and there's really no huge bump there. There's a bump where the two edges meet. You're gonna have that. Okay, this is the back side. Let me flip it back over. Which, you know, the scarves are kind of double-sided. It really doesn't matter what side's up. But I pulled it a little tight so it kind of goes in a little. So you'll need to readjust it when you get the real thread that you're using. I would probably use purple on here. And if it goes through and you see a little tiny bit of purple, it won't hurt. But it's not as bad as if you do that whip stitch or some other join where you're going to have a big bump down it and you're going to see on the edges. You pull this up, it's sticking to the loom. There really isn't much of a bump. So there you go. There's the invisible seam. I hope you've been watching along, and if you have any comments, please leave them below and subscribe so I can continue doing some fun videos. The next one I'm going to put out is probably the one to fix the that little weaving problem that I have. But for right now, I'm glad you got to see this. I hope it helps. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.